Good morning, my good people. My name is Brian Cavalaji. Welcome to Healthy Living. And today I have an amazing show lined up for you. I have an amazing guest in studio, and we're going to talk about healthy living and stress management. And before I go far, let's just dive in and introduce our guest.
First of all, thank you for inviting me for this show. My name is Isabella Otsiemo. I'm a psychologist and a therapist. If you wish, I'm the university therapist,
Yes.
and I help students find out solutions to various issues that they may be having.
Okay, so before we even go further to the topic of the day, I would like you to tell me what are some of the issues that you help students with while on campus?
Yes, there are quite a variety or quite a lot of issues that students go through, ranging from relationships, yeah, as young people,
Yes,
relationships, education matters, on how to effectively come out successful in their studies,
yes,
and of course, relationships that will be with their peers, relationships in the family, relationships with the public,
yes,
all that covers relationships with whoever they interact with. Then, of course, we come to classroom. There is challenges
yeah,
on performance. How do we go about that? What are the risk factors that come their way and make them not perform as they are expected? And we explore all that. And of course, that will come when the student opens up and tells you these are the challenges I have. Then you look at this is a risk factor, you do this. Of course, the consequences are these. That is education wise. And of course, their own health, their own anxieties. What are they anxious about? What's happening to them at that very moment? And how do they come out of it? Because when you are anxious and you are not addressing that anxiety, it comes in the way of your performance and affects you all round. And of course, health issues. These are things that affect all of us, students included. They have various health issues. And so we look at each, how it can be. What, first of all, is the cause of all that, and how can it be handled?
Isabella will be giving us tips on how to live a healthy living. Of course, you can follow me on social media at Brian Cavalaji across Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. My phone number is 0792876906. Unaweza tuma SMS na vilevile utume comments takuwa naziread on air. So Isabella, how does stress affect healthy living, especially among students?
Yeah, stress is something that we have to live with. We have to have stress in order to perform.
Yes.
There is good stress and there is bad stress.
Okay.
The good stress is if, for example, you have good news, you are very stressed about it, you want to be excited, you want to invite your friends, you want to call so and so, and that means your stress levels are up, but happy stress levels,
Yeah.
because you have got good news you want to share with everybody. So you really, it's like it raises your adrenaline to be able to cover so and so. Who do I tell? You are rejoicing, somebody is graduating and something, I've performed well, I've been rewarded. So that is good stress. It keeps you on your feet and it keeps your performance high. There is also the bad stress, which of course when you get bad news, you are low, you can perform, you're sad, you really are wondering what has happened, and that bad stress, then it suppresses your immunity. So your performance is a bit low, it's not at that higher level, because you are not up to things. Even your thinking is affected, the actions, responses are affected. So stress is good and bad, and we must have it in order to be able to perform.
Yes.
When you are under stress, good stress, you perform higher at a higher level. And bad stress, of course, you perform at a lower level. So either way, the stress, you can't live without it.
Yes.
It makes you active or it makes you inactive.
Okay.
Where it becomes bad is when you have bad stress all round and such that you cannot, it kind of inhibits your thinking and whatever else you want to do. That's when it becomes bad.
Yes.
And from there, then it needs now intervention for you to be able to live above that.
Yes. And let's take a short commercial break. We will be back, and make sure haujaenda mbali, tunarudi in a few.
For most women, the beautiful color of youth is nothing more than a memory. But now, you can bring that beautiful and youthful color naturally with the new Fair and Love. The new Fair and Lovely product is a breakthrough in beauty with creams that have complete natural vitamins and formulations for natural hair growth, allowing you to be beautiful and lovely every day. New Fair and Lovely, your true beauty partner. Release the joy with Cadbury Dairy Milk Chocolate and stand a chance to win a trip for two to the Cadbury World in the UK. Experience the history of chocolate at Cadbury World in the UK with chocolate coming to life. To enter, buy any 80-gram Cadbury chocolate milk bar from participating outlets countrywide and fill the entry form and stand a chance to win. For more information, visit www.cadburyworldchocolate.com. Good luck. Remember, stand a chance to experience chocolate like never before.
Welcome back to the show. I'm happy that you're still tuned in. And I'm seeing people on social media are saying the show is on fire. Ken from Rongai nakuona unasema uko locked mbaya sana. Nakuona pia Yvonne from Kawangware unasema show inabamba sana. Umesema niulize guest, what are some of the ways that we can prevent and relieve stress? Atakuwa na kujibu in a few. Pale Twitter naona pia mmekachora binoma sana. Nakuona S8 the Cowboy unasema show iendelee vivo hivo. So nitakuwa nasoma comments zenu, nitakuwa nasoma feedback yenye mnanipatia, and then tujue design vitu zitakuwa. So Isabella, welcome back to this other segment. And one of the people in our social medias has asked ways to prevent and relieve stress, but of course we are going to first check what are some of the health problems that are related to stress.
Yes. Stress, of course, comes with challenges. When, as we've already seen, that there's bad stress.
Yes.
The bad stress is where you're so stressed until it hinders your thinking, your functionality. And that, when stress is at a certain level, it of course generates to depression.
Yes.
Now, when it generates to depression, then of course it curtails your performance. It actually now at that level needs medical intervention.
Yes.
Besides counseling, and that now is at a level where one needs help.
Yeah.
That you are not able to control, you are not able to do what you're doing. You have generated because it was not addressed initially when it started, by looking at the trigger, looking at the cause and addressing it. When left unaddressed, then of course when it degenerates to depression, now that calls for higher intervention, which is now medical. So you've got to be treated in order to go back to the level that you were before. Depression, that is one of the things. It also comes with lowering your immunity. And you know, when our immunity is low through stress, then of course it attracts other diseases. You are not able to withstand any stress, so you are easily, like coughing, you just cough, any cold just knocks you down because stress has lowered your immunity, because immunity is everything. Now stress works on that when it is not controlled. Those are some of those things that we should always be able, when you are stressed, identify the trigger.
Yes.
Look out for ways to be helped so that it does not degenerate further, and then you're okay. But remember, as I said from the beginning, we need a bit of stress to get us moving. If you have no stress, you can't work. If you have no stress of looking for rent, you will not be able to wake up and go look for it.
Yeah, true.
If you have no stress of paying your utilities or you are just there rested. You need that stress to help you think, how
Yeah.
do I do this? How do I address this? So that is very good stress.
Yeah.
Only it becomes bad when it gets past a certain level and when you cannot handle it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Another question, of course, is tied to that. Is it really accessible? These services, psychological services, counseling, are they accessible? Therapy. Some
Yes.
people say that therapy is so expensive. What's your take on that?
True. Therapy is very expensive because, for one thing, when you see a therapist, he has to unearth what is the beginning of all this, other than you saying you're going through stress and then just prescribe some medication. It is, can we look at how did this come about? What are you going through at the moment? What would you have done so that you didn't have to come through this? And that takes a lot of unearthing of the surrounding that brought about that condition. So it becomes very expensive, correct, as you say, like now. But in university, like here, of course, it's part of the package that students paid for. So many students have asked, I've not been coming for therapy because I was afraid I didn't have money. And you say, okay, but that is what you've already paid for is covered. But out there, doing it out there is very, very expensive. So these services are available, but someone must look for them.
Yes.
If you realize you have a problem, there are so many ways of addressing that. You can see your significant other or somebody who you confide in, and this is advice that each of us must have someone to confide in, because when I confide in you, you are able to tell me, other than sitting on it, and then by the time we know that you are depressed, of course, you have done other things which are beyond control. So you have to share it with a confidant, or you look out for therapy services which are available.
Okay, thank you for that. Another thing that our audience wants to know is how can we prevent stress, especially as young people?
Yes, you can
Stress.
prevent stress. First of all, you have to identify what gives me stress.
Yes.
If you sit down all along, you are doing a lot of things at the same time,
Yes.
taking big projects or assignments at the same time, you have to break them into pieces,
Yes.
doable pieces,
Yes.
one by one. Then that opens up that clogging of your mind to be able to address the rest of the problems. You can also, after you have done a lot of work, get up, walk about. Get up, talk to somebody. Get up and laugh with somebody, because laughter is therapeutic in itself.
Yes, true.
And by the time you do that, you can also do exercises. Some of us don't do exercises, me included.
Yeah.
When you feel that you're feeling heavy, get up, even walk in the street because you find someone to talk to. Do some exercise, walk. Do some breathing exercises, which are even best. You can do them where you're seated.
Yeah.
And that opens up your thinking capacity. You are able to move. Because mostly when you feel that you're down, is that you're sitting here for long, and when you look at it at the end of it, you've done very little. That should give you a sign that you are stressed and you're not doing anything to change the situation. So there is a lot of outlets where you can get out your stress and come back and perform at a higher level, as opposed to do when you don't seek help.
Let's take another commercial break and we'll be coming back with so much more. Make sure you're not going too far.
Riara University invites all students, parents, and stakeholders to its 5th commencement ceremony on Friday, 17th June 2021. The ceremony will be held at the university's graduation square along Bagadhiway from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. 347 students will be awarded with various diplomas and degrees, In the schools of communication and multimedia journalism, international relations and diplomacy, business, computer science, law, and education. Moreover, graduating students are advised to get clearance forms from the university website and submit them by 30th April 2021. They should also pick up their graduation gowns from the RUSA office by 15th May. As rehearsals will be held on Thursday, 16th June 2021, limited parking spots are available for those interested. Book in advance with the RU Estates Department. Come and celebrate our students' dedication and diligence as we usher them into the world. RIA University, nurturing innovators.
Welcome back to the show. I'm happy that you're still stuck around. My name is Brian Cavalaji, and of course, this is Healthy Living on RU Radio, and we have an amazing guest in studio. He's giving us a lot of tips so that we can achieve a stress-free life. Now, Isabella, there is a time that a certain guy killed his parents by way of, using a machete, and people are saying that he said actually he was influenced by a movie. And do you think that there are some childhood traumas that affect us as we grow up, and really they affect how we behave and even our characters in life?
True, yes. That was a very unfortunate incident. And when you see something happening like that, it's not something that is started today. There are a lot of underlying issues.
Yes.
You find when you go through trauma as a child, that affects you as you grow up. Because if it is not processed then of course you grow with it.
Yeah.
It grows in you. You bottle a lot.
Yeah.
So now as an adult, any little trigger that kind of reminds you. I'm sure you remember as a young child what your mother did sometime when you did something or she beat you.
Yes.
Those small things, we remember them.
Yeah.
That is also what trauma does to us. Something little happens, you grow up remembering that thing. Why do some of us remember it very negatively? In fact, when you remember it, you lose your emotion, you become very emotional. It's because it was not addressed at that point. Let's take, for example, you as a child witnessed someone killing another, or you witnessed an accident where people died, and then you didn't go through therapy to declog that, to process that, to normalize that. So it remains an anomaly in you.
Yeah.
So as you grow up, that thing affects you. That's what we call flashbacks. The moment you hear someone is dead, or someone has been crushed, or there's a car accident and someone has passed, it reminds you of that, and you can react, either you cry or you withdraw, because that was not addressed. So whatever happens, for example, someone was sexually abused when they were young.
Yeah.
Now, as you grow up, any mention of that, you hate everybody around you and you wish they were dead, you don't see them. But the moment you go through therapy, that is addressed, and you normalize that. In a way, you normalize it, and you are able to know how to counter that when you have those flashbacks. So childhood trauma shows up in adulthood if it was not addressed, if those thoughts were not processed. For example, as a child, I know when I grew up what happened to me. It was never processed until when I went to do counseling in university. That's when I realized there's something therapy. You have to address those things in order to be able to address other people's issues. If that was not addressed, then you will not be able to address other people's issues. Because it happened, it was never processed. But at this point now, it was processed. So I'm able now to handle even the same issue without emotions, because I step into that person's shoes and imagine what they are going through, and I'm also able to lift them to be able to not to have those negative flashbacks. Yeah, so those affect us as we grow up.
Okay, thank you so much, Isabella, for coming to our show today, and thank you to the audience for always keeping it locked to Healthy Living on RU Radio. I hope you're going to implement whatever you've been told today, and I hope you're going to live healthy, and of course, exercise mazee. Cheka kama unaweza, piga tizi na make sure unaishi maisha poa. Until next time, my name is Brian Kavalaji, na hivyo ndio tumekafunga.